Hi guys and welcome. We're fixing to start our first big series, which is we are going to walk you step by step through how to purchase a horse. This series is going to take us about 6 weeks, and we are going to go from the very beginning when you decide that you think you're going to want to buy a horse, and we're going to follow you through step by step all the way to the end until your horse arrives at home. So I sell a lot of horses for my clients. A lot of times it's just super great people that bought a horse that just wasn't quite the perfect fit for them. The thing we have to keep in mind is horses are much like us in the sense that none of us are perfect. It's really just finding somebody whose quirks can get along well with yours. I always tell everybody it's kind of like dating. You might have dated some nice guys, but didn't mean you wanted to marry them. You're looking for the one you're going to marry. So we're going to help you with that process. I sell a lot of those horses for people, and I help a lot of people buy horses. The very first thing that we're going to talk about is we're going to go from this step by step. So whether you're a beginner, a re-beginner, or a seasoned horse buyer, I feel like there's always stuff for us to get better. I always recommend, especially if you're a beginner or a re-beginner, you've been away from the horse world for a little while, I always recommend finding a good trainer. This does so much for your horsemanship journey. First of all, they're going to help you. They're going to get you started back in the saddle if you're a re-beginner, or if it's been some time, they're going to brush up on some of your skills. I highly recommend doing this before you horse shop, and here's why. The horse that matches your skills today will change as your skills change. So I believe it's a little bit more productive to start working on your skills first and get your skills a little bit more fine-tuned, because that will open the window for a lot bigger variety of horses for you to choose from. The better your skills are and the more experienced you are, the more different horses are going to fit you, because you're able to adapt to them and you're able to reach into your toolbox for the things that horse might need. If you're a little less experienced, then you need a horse that is a little bit more experienced that will help take care of you. So I highly recommend getting a trainer and starting some lessons before your horse shopping journey. This will do a couple of things. Number one, your trainer is going to help you hone in on your skills and get a little bit better. Second of all, your trainer is going to really get to know you, and they're going to evaluate what is good for you, what type of horse is a great fit for you, all of those things. So it will really help you to help pick the right horse when it is time. So part of our series is we're going to talk about how to find that trainer. You have so many choices. We have various disciplines, all of those things. So there's a lot of decisions to make before you even start looking for a horse. What discipline are you going to ride? Do you have show goals in mind, or are you looking for more a family horse and something you can trail ride and spend leisure time with? All of those things are very important aspects of horse shopping. So the very first step is knowing exactly really what it is you're looking for, and that can be kind of hard. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about finding a trainer, picking a trainer, going down that path. We're going to talk about how to create your checklist. I believe it's very important to have a checklist of the traits that you're looking for in a horse prior to shopping for that horse. This helps you to create the question list for your sellers. What do we want to know about this horse before we take the time to go see him? All of those things. So our checklist is the next thing that we're going to go over together, and we're going to create that checklist together of what is our budget? What are the high priority things for this horse to have that will be a good fit for our family? And what are things that are like, oh, maybe not a super high priority, but we would really like this. I always make my wish list and then I prioritize it. Some of the things on the wish list are absolutely mandatory. Some of them are not as mandatory. They're more like a bonus, like, oh, but buckskins are my favorite. You never know. So the checklist is important. Once we help you with your checklist, we're going to start talking about the serious stuff. Where do we look for horses? There's so many different sources out there. We can go to auctions. There's online auctions. There's private treaty sales. There's, you can buy anything on the internet anymore, or you can go look at them. There's rescues and places you can adopt horses. There's so many different places to get horses from. Each has their advantages and their disadvantages. So we will discuss all of those and help you decide which is the best approach for how you want to find your horse. Then we're going to talk about leasing. A lot of people choose to lease for a time. So we're going to go over the ins and outs of that. And then we're going to talk about, now that we've decided where we're going to find our horse, how are we going to start the process of elimination. So that's when we start asking these sellers questions. We start getting videos in, and we start really going over those videos. So we're going to evaluate a lot of videos together, and we're going to work on that together as well. And we're going to go over some of the things that we look for as professionals in these videos. Some things that might save us a long drive to go look at a horse that isn't a good fit. So we're going to go over those things, the videos, the questions, the answers. How do we decipher the answers from these sellers, and what do those mean, and what do we make of that? Right now, there's so many scams in the industry. There's so many scams for purchasing horses, for selling horses. So we're going to have a really big segment on how to identify scams, how to avoid getting scammed, and how to make sure that you're looking at a real horse and talking to real people and not wasting your time and potentially money. So we will also talk about that. Once we've gone through all of that and we've selected your horse, then our next step is, do we want to do a pre-purchase exam? What does a pre-purchase exam consist of? And how does that look? And how does it cost? And what do we want to do? What are all of our choices? Pre-purchase exam can go from 0 to 90 real fast. And there's a lot of places in the middle. So some people get a little bit scared of a pre-purchase exam because they feel like your vet is looking for something to pass or fail. Like, oh, you're a bad horse, you're no good. Or, oh, he's perfect. None of them are perfect. All of them have quirks, just like us. Your pre-purchase exam is really nothing more than a fact-finding mission. So we will go over all of those details. And do you get a basic pre-purchase exam, or do you go all out and x-ray every joint that sucker has? How do you make those choices? So we'll go through all of that. We will talk about long-distance shipping. We will talk about any of the health concerns of buying horses, all of those things, all of the things that go around the shopping process. I just see a lot of people go through a lot of grief and heartache and financial loss over choosing the wrong horse. The other part that is very, very cumbersome for folks is there's a lot of emotional baggage with having the wrong horse. You know, you end up questioning your abilities, you question your confidence, you could possibly get hurt. And I find that people who have inadvertently ended up with the wrong horse, they carry a lot of trouble, guilt about that relationship not working. And some have a lot of hard time about trying to rehome that horse and putting it into a place where it does fit. So there's a lot around this decision, and there's a lot of things that we can do to guide you to help you make great choices so that you can really enjoy your horsemanship journey. That is our ultimate goal, is to give you the tools to go out there, spend time with your horse, have a great time, stay safe. And you know, when we're all old, I honestly, this is me truly, I honestly don't believe we're going to be laying in the nursing home telling the other old folks about how many ribbons we have. We're going to be telling them about all the fun we had with our horse friends and the adventures we had with our great four-legged partners and all of that. This is about the journey, not the destination. So we're here to help you make that journey a vacation and not a treacherous business trip. And we're going to help you find the right horse for you so that you can go out and enjoy that journey and have a great time and have all kinds of stories to tell. That's my goal in life, have all the stories to tell when it's time. Thanks, guys. This series will be every Monday. I do not know what time it's going to post, and if I told you what time it's going to post, then I'd probably be lying to you. Most likely it'll be in the evenings, but there will be a video of our series every Monday, and we're going to have posts all week long about little tips and little tidbits that will help support the series and give you extra learning. We're so glad you're here. Thank you for following the True Crazy Horse Ladies. We really hope we bring you great entertainment and really good information that helps your journey. Thanks again for giving us your time, and we'll talk to you soon. Happy trails.